Hello, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Prerna Mohan Purnekar, and today I am going to present the first few slides, and then the rest of my colleagues will follow. The name of the slide is Understanding and Adapting Communication Style. Nowadays, we see communication has become an essential part in our life. You go to give an interview, seek job, or go to school. Communication styles really create a great impression of you or your personality. It is simply the act of transferring information from one people to another. It may be to a group too. There are broad ways in which people tend to communicate with others. Also, I feel that there is always a unique communication style which everybody has in their own distinct way in which they exchange information. The four communication styles are bifurcated in passive aggressive, and assertive. Passive communicators usually fail to express their feelings. They are very shy. They often display lack of eye contact, poor body posture, and inability to say no. Aggressive communicators are often issue demand, aggressiveness, dominating nature, and they usually rudely behave with others and fail to listen. Passive aggressive communicators will muter to themselves rather than confront a person. They have difficulty in acknowledging their own anger, use facial expressions that don't correlate with how they feel. Assertive communicators can express their own needs, desires, ideas, and feelings while also considering the need of others. They aim to win in a situation, balancing others' rights. The further slides will be explained by Mokshi. Thank you.
Thank you, Prana, for inviting me to talk about the topic understanding the importance of communication style. As we all know that communication is a never-ending and continuous process. It is a thing that we want to convey our message with others in our daily life. We share our ideas, our thoughts with others by an effective communication style. We want to rely upon the communication style to convey our message effectively, to share and to heard and listen to. That's the way a communication style goes. So we can say that a better communication style is the way which we share our informations or our thought to others in a proper language. That's the way we communicate with others. So the style is an unconscious development, or it is developed over time, and it can be influenced by various factors such as family dynamics, cultural expectations, and the behavior of the person while we are talking, or the thing, or many other aspects relied upon that. By a better communication style, we can communicate effectively and efficiently with others to communicate in an effective way. The communication style is mainly as of passive, aggressive, assertive, and a combination of passive and aggressive. So we want to analyze our communication style and we want to adopt it to others while we are saying something. Now I would like to invite Neha to talk about the adaptive communication styles.
I will be talking about adapting communication styles. To be effective communicator, you have to adapt the things you say. That means you need to adjust your communication style to fit your audience. This can be done in various ways, and if done correctly, will allow you to engage your audience quickly and with the optimum results. The more clearly you understand your communication preferences, the more adaptable you can be when you are presented with a completely oppositional communication style. Your communication style vary with the situation, such as if you are adjusting your communication style, match your vocabulary to the audience. Make sure that you use the word that the other person will understand. Vary your tone to fit the audience. Tone can tell the listener a lot about the situation.
Thank you, Neha. Communication skills varies according to the situations. For example, while considering an employee, To communicate a new or the complicated issue with an employee, use the face-to-face communication. That will be easier for the employee to clear their doubts about the situations. Second one, while communicating with a co-worker. While communicating with a co-worker about a particular issues, use the simple and easiest words so that they all can understand equally. The third one is while communicating with a large group of people. Use the simple and accurate words, or in that case we can use the presentation slides so that they can understand what the speaker is trying to say, to tell about. That's all my point. How listening skills help you to communicate better. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian, for giving the talk. How listening skills help to communicate better. First, we are going to define listening. Listening is the ability to receive, interpret messages in the communication process. Most people will face difficulty in life because we interpret messages differently. And there are three major types of listening. Content listening, which is just listening to what people say, that's what we do in the day activity life. Critical listening, that here we evaluate the content of a message. We listen to all parts, analyze, and evaluate what we heard. Then emphatic listening, where it is practice of being attentive and response to others' input during a communication, during conversation or communication, and this type of listening also called active listening. Nevertheless, to listen effectively, you need 5 major steps, and these 5 major steps are receiving. That is receiving, where in terms of receiving, we are hearing the message being sent by a speaker. In the audience, so people speak, just hear the message. Decoding is the reserved process of listening to words, think about them, and turning these words into mental images. Then we go on to remembering. Remembering here, you just remember what actually captured you in the communication process. Some people use images in the communication process, or when speaking they put an images to refer to something. People really remember more about it. We talk about evaluating. Evaluating here, you judge the content of the message of a speaker, and finally responding. In responding, you are providing verbal or non-verbal feedback about a speaker's message. I'm going to give the floor to Alex, who's going to talk about the next slide.
About some of the barriers affecting the effective listening. The first one is selective listening. It happens when our mind wanders, and we often stay tuned out until we hear a word or phrase that brings our attention back. And the second one is defensive listening, which happens when we make up our mind before fully hearing the speaker's message. That's another barrier. And the third one is non-verbal communication, which is a interpersonal process of receiving and sending and receiving information, both intentionally and unintentionally. Now I'm gonna talk about some of the strategies that encourage us to listen to the speaker. And the first one is to listen more. We need to listen more to others speaking. And the second one is to talk less about us. We need to concentrate on what they are speaking more and talk about less about us. And the third one is to pay attention to non-verbal communication. Like they include keeping a steady tone and avoiding repetitions, making proper eye contact with the audience, and standing in an upright position. And the fourth point is to listen to others. Actively listening to others allow us to create a relationship with our dialogue partner. And the last point is to build relationships. That means people are more likely to listen to those whom they really trust and respect. So these all are some of the strategies of listening. So thank you.